Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This feels so weird because it's been absolutely ages since I last sat down to film anything, and I really am sorry about that. Things have just been a little bit hectic lately and I have not had the time basically to sit down and film, and things have just been a little bit up in the air and all over the place. And if you saw a few weeks ago, I just posted a really short video just explaining that, and that I was going to sit down and do a bit more of an in-depth thing just to let you all know what's been going on. So that's what today's video is. Just a bit of an update about where I've been, why I've not been on YouTube for ages, and just to let you know what's been going on really. I don't know if any of you are aware, I think I might have mentioned it in a couple of previous videos. I know I've never actually sat down and categorically spoke about it, but when we went into lockdown back in March, a couple of weeks in, about 3 weeks into lockdown I think we were, it's sort of mid-April time, Rob unfortunately got diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a type of cancer, and it was the worst time of our lives. I'm not even gonna lie, it was so scary, so upsetting. He had to go into hospital for 3 days, which was when we found out, because it just went really poorly. The fact that we was in lockdown, I wasn't able to go with him. He was completely by himself, apart from obviously people that were also in hospital, but essentially they were strangers to him. So he was completely by himself, and it was just a really hard and scary time for us. But luckily, they found that he had lymphoma, and it was very treatable, which we're very grateful for. So 2 weeks after finding out he had cancer, he started treatment, started chemotherapy, which was great, because they were doing something about it really fast, and obviously with the situation at the time we thought it'd take a while, but no, they acted really fast, so that was great. However, not only due to the coronavirus, but due to Rob having chemo, he was not allowed to go out of the house, which meant he wasn't able to go to work. Even if coronavirus wasn't around, he still wouldn't have been able to go to work, because chemotherapy destroys the immune system. So it wouldn't have been safe for him to be going to work in case he picked up a cold. Even something as simple as a cold could have been really bad news for him at that time. So he was signed off work, which, as you can imagine, drastically affected our financial situation. We were renting a house at the time. We had bills to pay, we had a car on finance that we had to pay for, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to go to work, although being in lockdown I was working from home. But anyway, it really affected our financial situation. Luckily I didn't get furloughed, so I was working full time. I carried on working just the same as I had, so we didn't lose any money from me. But from Rob, he was the main wage earner before all of this, so we lost quite a lot of money each month basically, because universal credit is means tested, and because of the fact that I had a job and I was working, the amount of money that they would give to Rob went off of what I earned, if that makes sense. So for every pound that I earned, because it was a joint claim, we were living together, for every pound that I earned, they took 63 pence off of Rob. So that really wasn't very helpful. I think he was only entitled to about £175 a month or something in the end, which, I mean, yeah, anything is a help, but my wage plus the universal credit wasn't even covering our household bills, let alone leaving us anything to get food with or anything like that. So yeah, it was really tough time, and if it wasn't for our families helping us out, I think my family were getting us a food delivery every month during lockdown, which was incredible, because I don't know how we would have coped without that. Just simple things like that made such a difference. So because, oh sorry, I think I forgot to say a minute ago, when Rob started his treatment, he was told it was going to be a 6-month cycle. And then because of the financial situation, we could not afford to stay in our house. So we had to move out, and we ended up moving back to my grand's house. So at the moment, we are living with my nan. We don't have a house of our own, which is why it's a bit difficult for me to film. And not only that, obviously, like I said before, I wasn't furloughed. I've been working the whole way through lockdown. I've still got a full-time job now. Like I've been really, really lucky in that respect, and my work situation hasn't been affected. I know there's millions of people in the country at the moment that have been, so I'm really grateful for that. So that, on top of the fact that we had to move out of our house and just all the other things that have been going on, I just really am struggling to find the time. Oh, I really have been struggling to find the time to film at the minute. Obviously, moving house was very stressful. We had to literally pack up our entire house, and because we're staying with my nan, we've gone from having a whole house between 2 people. We lived in a 2-bed house. We've gone from that to 1 double bedroom. Obviously, you know, my nan's cleared out some cupboards and stuff for us in the kitchen and things like that, but essentially we've gone from a whole house to 1 bedroom. So it was really, really challenging getting all of that sorted out, and in between Rob having to go for chemo every 2 weeks and him just generally not being as fit and strong as he was, it was a lot more stressful moving house this time than it ever has been for us in the past. Yeah. But on the plus side, that's all now done and dusted and out of the way. We're settled into my nan's now. I've been there a good few weeks. Rob's chemo has now finished, so he's not going for that every 2 weeks. He is back at work, so our financial situation is improving and things are just starting to look up a bit for us, which is really, really great. Obviously, with Christmas around the corner, we're starting to prepare for that a little bit earlier than we usually would. So normally we're one of those that leave our Christmas shopping right to the last minute, and in December when we get our last pay packet, we're like, oh my god, we've got all of the Christmas shopping to do with 1 pay packet each. So this year we are not doing that. Absolutely not. I've actually already started my Christmas shopping, so getting in there nice and early. But yeah, things are really, really starting to look up for us now. Like I said, with Rob going back to work, myself still working, we have decided, like, now that we've gone back to my nan's, we're going to save up for a house deposit rather than go back into renting, just because I'd rather pay my own mortgage than pay someone else's. We've managed to keep the car, so that's good. And yeah, things are really starting to look up. I have finally found a nail technician course that I'm going to do. I'm literally just waiting until payday, basically, to book that. I've also, bit of other news, I've also signed up to do a English language and literature degree through the Open University, which was totally, I mean, it was not totally on a whim at all. I was going to say it was totally on a whim, but it wasn't at all. It's something I've been thinking about for over 12 months, like a long time. And when I was at school, actually, I was going to go to university and study education. I was going to be a primary school teacher. That's what I wanted to do. But for many reasons, I didn't go to university in the end. I decided not to go, and so I never became became a teacher. I've just been working ever since I left school, basically, ever since I left sixth form. So since then, I have always had it in the back of my mind that I would really like to be a teacher. And in recent years, I say recent years, it wasn't even that many years ago that I left school. I think it was only about 8 years ago when I left sixth form. 2013 when I left, yeah, when I left sixth form, it was 2013, so it's 7 years ago. I've just been thinking about it ever since then, really, and just kind of regretted not going to university. But when I left sixth form and should have gone to university, it was just not the right time for me in my life at that point. There was no way that I would have succeeded in university at that point in my life. So in hindsight, it was probably a good thing that I didn't go. But I do wish that I had. One, for the experience, like everybody wants to experience university, but two, because I now wouldn't be facing the journey that I am to get a degree. Because I work full time, I haven't got the means to quit my job and do a full-time degree, so I'm going to have to do a part-time degree, which can take up to 6 years, and then after that do teacher training, which can be a further 1 to 2 years before I even get qualified teacher status. So that's the next 8 years of my life basically, which was pretty much my entire high school length from year 7 through to year 13 or whatever. I'm going to have to do that again, essentially, to be able to become a teacher. So if there's anybody watching that's really debating going to university, just go to university, give it a shot, because you might find that actually when you get there, it's all right and you can cope with it. Because I wish that I had done that. I really do wish that I had just gone to university, and then if it really wasn't working for me, I would have had the option to drop out. It's not, once you're there, you don't have to stay there, do you know what I mean? If it's not right for you, if it's not the right time, you don't have to stay there. There are options for you to go back down that path later, like the Open University, which without that, actually, I wouldn't be able to do a degree. So that's really great. But yes, if you are debating university, if you're at that time in your life where you think, you know, you're studying your A-levels or whatever and thinking about university, just go, just try your absolute hardest, get your results and go to uni, because that is one experience that I really wish that I had in my life. Because even though I'm doing, or I will be starting a degree, I will never ever get the opportunity to go to university now. So that's one thing I have missed out on. But there was reasons for that, and everybody has got their own reasons and their own, you know, their own life, and if it's not right for you, don't go. If you're unsure, or you know, you're definitely sure, go to university, because it will just open so many more doors for you. I really do recommend doing that. Because now, if I'd gone to university, even if I'd finished and graduated university and then not done anything relating to the degree that I had, I now wouldn't have to do another degree to become a teacher. I could have just done teacher training using the degree that I had already. So if teaching is something that you are interested in, just get a degree. Just get a degree, because you can't teach without a degree unless you do sort of a, I can't remember what it's called now. It's like a work-based thing where you can do it via a teaching assistant route, but it's also very long-winded. I'm really going off tangent here, I do apologise. But yes, that's where I've been, that's what I've been up to. I should now be getting back on track with filming YouTube. I've really missed it. That's where I've been, that's what I've been up to, and I really am looking forward to getting back into doing YouTube. I've really missed it. I've really missed everyone's comments and support, and thank you ever so much for sticking by me, because I realise I've been absent for a while. I really am grateful that you've all stuck by me. I don't know yet, I'm thinking about doing Vlogmas this year. I'm just trying to figure out, at the moment, just toying around with a few things. I'm just trying to figure out whether it will be feasible. But at the moment, it's looking very promising. So, you know, that would be really good. I love Christmas as well. It's my absolute favourite. Be totally in my element. Cannot wait for it. But yeah, so that's just my short little update. Well, it's not even that short, to be fair, but just wanted to do an update video, a bit more of an in-depth one than the really short one I did a few weeks ago. Thank you ever so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you are all okay, and I feel like it's been ages since I've spoken to anyone on here, so again, I really do apologise. Thank you ever so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it, and I promise I will be back on here much more often now. If you would like to see more of my videos in the future, I would really love it if you consider subscribing to my channel, and I will see you all very soon in another video. Thank you. Bye.